I built the Great Pyramid of Giza in Minecraft at full scale. But before I show you the whole thing, let's roll back a little ways to see how this thing was actually built. It all started with a school assignment. I had to come up with a project about ancient Egypt and make a presentation about my topic to the class. I chose this and decided to make it into a video, so here it is. And yeah, I mean, here it is, right here in all its glory, humongous pyramid, which I built completely by hand in creative mode, of course, because that would have taken absolute months in survival mode, to be honest. But anyway, though, I'm going to tell you about it, but to see it better, we're going to head over to this little thing, which is actually kind of my favorite feature of this entire place, which is just this tiny little viewing booth I built, and I fell off it, give me a second. But I mean, look at this thing. It's got a little canopy for the sun. It's decorated and all Egyptian themed, and there's even a vending machine for snacks up here while you look at the pyramid. But anyway, enough about that though. I built this thing really so I could actually see the thing when it was finished. But as you can see, it's pretty massive. The base is 300 blocks by 300 blocks with a 150 block height in the whole thing, which is real height. The base is unfortunately about 35 blocks too long in every direction. But I mean, it still looks good. It's just the way that Minecraft worked. I had to make it, stepped down like this, and if I didn't, it would look weird. So anyway, this is how it is. It's pretty accurate though, but yeah, pretty much an accurate size. And of course, that is the entrance right there, which we will go see in a moment. The real Great Pyramid of Giza, of course, was made for Pharaoh Khufu, or Cheops, whichever his name actually was. I don't know. But of course, this thing was absolutely massive, where they put his mummy when he died and all of his belongings and such. Although, to be honest, it was slight overkill since the rooms inside are way smaller than the actual pyramid. But if we just take a quick little coast on down here, and in this case, firework rockets actually are quite a bit faster than creative mode flying to get across here. Ugh. Anyway, this is my best representation of the entrance. If you look at real pictures, it doesn't look much like this, but I did my best. Okay, I did my best. Anyway, though, so this is what is known as the descending passageway in the real thing. I'm going to give you some facts about the real thing as well as my Minecraft building process, but basically, I built this thing. I'll show you how it was built in a minute. Let's kind of look at the rooms a little bit. So this is the ascending passageway, which branches off from the descending passageway, and this just heads straight on up this direction. And the ascending passageway ends right here, and they branch off in two directions with the Queen's chamber down there and the King's chamber up here, which we'll go ahead and see first. And this is the Grand Gallery or something or other. I believe I did make this thing slightly smaller than the real thing by accident, but I think it's fairly close. But yeah, this is the Grand Gallery. You notice everything is made out of smooth sandstone, and that's because my lack of imagination with choices of color, so I just left it this way. Also, the real thing is pretty plain, although it's a little bit more gray than this. Anyway, this is the King's Chamber, and this is not my fault that it's not furnished, because in real life, this is all that there is. This is actually like a hollowed out box where the sarcophagus, and it's just an empty room, and that's absolutely it. Man, I really need to put some ice down in these corridors or something to make it a little bit faster. But anyway, this is the Queen's Chamber, which has even less than the King's Chamber, except it has like sort of a vaulted roof in here, but yeah, that's about it. It's just another room where another dead person would be. But if we just head back on down the ascending passageway, which now kind of turns into a descending passageway, and no, there is no faster way to get down here without just slapping your face into the wall in front of you every single block. But if we continue down the descending passageway, which continues for quite a ways, you can see it's outside my render distance down there, but if we just head on down here, then we will come to another little corridor right here, and it opens up into another room, which I'm actually not sure of the purpose of. Let me go look that up real quick. Apparently this is the subterranean room or something, and no one really knows what this was for exactly. But it just has a hole in the floor for some reason, and some big rock piles. And yes, I did research this, and tried to make it as accurate as I could. And yeah, so that's what that room looks like. Now though, we'll have some fun and see what the inside of the pyramid looks like, which you might be kind of surprised. It looks like a giant solid pyramid that has stuff cut into it, but actually it's not. It is a gigantic hollow pyramid, and yes, this would definitely not have been a good choice to build it solid, although technically you could have used the fill command to fill in one square at a time going all the way up, and that might have been faster. It also might not have been though, I'm not sure, because there are 150 layers to this. But as you can see, I basically just built the rooms on the inside, so while you're inside there, it looks like you're sort of in the pyramid, but really you're kind of just floating in these boxes. And there's even just tons of cactuses and dead bushes still inside of here from the desert floor. But yeah, I mean, the inside is pretty much empty. And, I mean, the only remains of the building process were this this thing here, this beacon, which probably won't turn on now, and the beacon was just so I could like sort of line up the center position for stuff, and also because it looked cool. But of course I do have night vision right now, because if I did not have night vision, then it would look like this. And it's set to peaceful, so there's no mobs in here, but yeah, no light in here at all. And also, one thing that mystifies me is why there's a band of light wrapping around this area right here. Why is there a light here? There's no light sources there, as far as I know. So I have no idea where that light is coming from. But there's other fun little things, like right here. It's kind of fun that I put these black pieces here, and this black piece, black concrete, and that's because I wanted to make the window look like it was dark inside, so I put that there. But if I just put that back, then you can see it looks like it's kind of just dark inside there, which it would not actually look like if that wasn't there, even if you had no effects, because as soon as you did that, you can kind of see in there. Yeah, you can kind of see in there. And it doesn't look quite as good. This pyramid has about 100,000 blocks in it. Smooth sandstone blocks, which I can't imagine what it would be like to collect those in survival mode, although it would make something absolutely insanely cool like this. But as proof, I will show you that if I just go to my statistics, items, scroll down to smooth sandstone, you can see 96,305 placed. So nearly 100,000 blocks, which actually does make sense if you think about it, because if each of these is a shell, then essentially you could collapse this layer into this layer, and then both layers into this layer, and you could collapse it all the way down until it made just a giant square on the floor of the desert. Which is kind of weird to think that actually all this humongous thing could be squashed down into a square, which is kind of funny. Anyway, though, and I've put a gold capstone on top, because that's how the actual thing used to be before, or at least that's what they think it used to be, to have a gold capstone on it before it was stolen. But this is about the actual size of it. Like 5 blocks height of gold, and it could be solid. It could have been solid for all we know. This thing was super duper fun to build. It took many hours, and I mean, it was fun. It was a little bit monotonous at times, and I found myself constantly like kind of getting sidetracked and like spawning camels for no reason and such. But eventually it got finished, and I'm very happy with how it came out, and I hope that my class and teachers will like it as well, because I haven't actually made the presentation yet as I'm recording this. That is going to be a lot of fun, but for reference, I want to real quick, just over here, out of the way a little bit, spawn, I believe you could do this, desert pyramid, and boom, there we are, placed a desert pyramid. This is the vanilla generated one that you can actually find in deserts, and as you can see, it completely pales in comparison. It hardly even counts as a pyramid compared to that one. Ha, take that tiny pyramid. I want to see if this actually gets completely destroyed, because I filled it up with TNT. Yes, die. Well, that actually did cut quite a lot more damage than I thought it would. It left a huge crater, and it's not even destroyed. Look at that. Anyway, giant craters aside, though, this thing is super cool, even if I do say so myself. I hope you guys like this thing, and wish me luck on my presentation, which is coming up. Anyway, though, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little look at my little pyramid thing I built here, and hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time on Minecraft Joe, and good. Bye.